So partially just to kind of keep a documentation of it myself, and then also partially to share with all you guys who are curious. I'm going to do a early July garden update right now. Just going to focus on the main garden, and I'll kind of try to hit the high points. Some of those will be rather familiar to some of you, but for others it may be interesting. So here we go. So I did want to just kind of start off by adding in a wall this year with some archways. I'll put another archway here, and then I've got some more wall and archways. We'll see how it pans out in years to come. It should be really good. On this one I did plant some little birdhouse gourds, but I got them really late. We were having them reseed themselves because we had some that broke open last year on their own. I tried transplanting a couple, but that's always kind of a delicate situation with gourds. So I'm just going to let these two run from there and kind of train them to come over here. Obviously some are heading the wrong direction, but they'll be coming this way shortly. And then here I gave up on tomato cages, and I prefer to run my tomatoes up a fence or a cattle panel, and this is why I can just kind of bob and weave them and kind of bend them as I go. These ones here will eventually run across here is my plan, but we've got chocolate cherries and yellow pears and some other ones coming in here. The hops is doing incredibly well. I actually just clipped it back again, but it is up and crazy and doing well up there. You can see all the little cones. There's some more there. So they're doing great. We did have some volunteer tomatoes that I kind of tipped out of here as I was pruning. I'll stake them soon enough. Some tamarillos reseeded themselves as well, which is really good. Had some in my bathroom garden last year that I overwintered. They're doing good. And then part of why I opened this up was just to kind of get the asparagus back out in the open. So this section's doing pretty good. Here's where I'm growing my purple sweet potatoes that I got from Sapper Gardener, Essayon's Family Garden, right now. And some big sunflowers in the middle that are not yet blooming, but they're getting there. So the couple of them on the ends are trashed. I had deer in here nibbling these down quite a few times, and then also a woodchuck. I think the woodchuck was the one trashing these guys. Not too impressed with it, but life goes on. My dinosaur kale, oh man, a weed. Dinosaur kale has been getting eaten way too much with worms, different caterpillars, so I'm going to de that thing again. The ghost peppers are doing excellent though. These guys, if you look down underneath here, a lot of them coming in. So looking forward to that. I should probably get more than 1,000 peppers out of here this year. Maybe even more than that. Wonderful looking bed. The chaste tree, or vitex, doing well back there. Still getting in some things. I think I have time still to get a harvest of zucchini. I hadn't planted them yet this year, so kind of like Farmer G with his lucky there's a garden at all. That's kind of, despite everything I had going for me good, I was not getting them planted like I should, or as early as I should, and other things, and that's why I'm still planting zucchini with some white icicle radishes around them. Try to deter some of the pests. This is Korean goji berries. This one's like 7 or 8 feet long. Deer nibbled the end of it off, so now it's kind of branching off a lot. Looking forward to the fruit from that. Here's where I was doing my Ruth Stout tomatoes. Was running into some issues. That'll be in an upcoming video soon enough. Horseradish doing well. This mound, I was letting the daikons go to seed. So I've got seeds from the daikons, leaving the roots in. Kind of work on building up the soil in this mound. But then I have some nice bloody butcher corn that I got from a guy, Armadillo Man, on Steam It. And they were really big and fat. And then the squirrels came, the little idiots of the woods, and just broke my heart. There's still some that are doing well. I mean, they didn't have worms yet. They didn't have anything going on. And then the little idiots of the woods show up and just shred these things. So, running into issues with them. Got some prickly pear. There's also some other cacti mixed in here, but the prickly pear, pad cacti, good edible cacti, both the cacti and the fruit. So getting these established right now, looking pretty good. Got some mulberries on the back wall, and these guys are about to go again. They're my yellow raspberries, my golden raspberries. They're about to hit it again. Apricot tree, plum tree. Gooseberries, the center one did really good this year. The other ones not so much. They're already spreading out and kind of filling in, so we'll see how it goes. But I've got high hopes anyway. This is a type of buckwheat I was trying this year. I thought it was going to be more kind of pretty on the flower end, but we'll see. Gave it a go this year anyway. We'll see how it does. The aronia in the center of here. Oh, yeah, check this out. Some of my celery. This is a Chinese white celery, but I'm actually tried it a couple different places. This is probably my best plant right now. Dill doing excellent, and then the aronia. Yeah, check those out. They're really getting a lot of berries on them. So looking forward to that. Strawberry bed is getting some of these Chinese goji's established to kind of be an upper tier for this one. We'll see how it works out. Got a couple different kinds of squash here. They're working out pretty well. The Desi is a new one for me. That's that round ball back in there by the purple ice plant. Oh, we got eggs like crazy here. But purple ice plant, I still want to feature in a video. Tell you guys a little bit more about it, why I love it and why it's here. But those guys, 40 days. There was the earliest squash Baker Creek orders or offers. We've already eaten a few. Had to replant some a couple times. Hopefully they got time to crank out. These are my Yoruzun Japanese winged beans. So I'll keep them coming on the trellis here. But looking forward to these guys for a number of reasons. Cool thing is, they've started flowering. So if you get them flowering and you can get them fruiting, that'll be good. Over here I do have an apricot tree in the middle here. Volunteer tomatoes coming around it. Had an edible green down here. There it is. And I kind of just let that go and let this passion fruit take over. And it really started setting fruit like crazy. There's a bunch of good ones in here. A lot of people don't let them grow in their garden. I just kind of let this go wild. Sometimes I do. And my yacone from Bob Mills Gardens, doing good. Passion flower coming all the way up there. The cucumbers I had to plant a couple times. We're finally starting to get them growing. And got this section and that section. They're doing well. Doing well. This is my kale and onions. I gotta trim it all down again. It too has been getting hit with the bugs lately, so I will have to do that again. But overall, going well, doing well. Cherry bushes here, with some volunteer tomatoes in between them that I just let go because it gives me extra tomatoes and I'm fine with that. Here's some salad greens, chard, sweet corn that I really just planted. And then this guy is flowering. It's that carrot I planted. Remember I planted a whole carrot last year? Yeah, that's pretty cool, crazy stuff. And we're getting some cucumbers on there anyway. Here's where we've got some good pollination station, the comfrey. The bumblebees absolutely love that. I've got a couple of apricots near too. Cilantro going to seed, so I got extra of that. And the toothache plant. This one's a work in progress. It'll probably most likely just be planted next year. I was trying to establish some raspberries, but we're not going to do too well with them this year. We'll see how they actually do. This is one of my kind of nice sections of the garden, though. I harvested a giant handful yesterday. And then I harvested another giant handful today. And tomorrow there's going to be so many of these ready. I mean, to go from this up to something like this, they go so quickly. So Chinese red noodle beans, one of my top 3 garden plants, and with good reason, growing them in some great soil this year, and they're thriving. So catnip, I harvested that twice already, I think, and it's back again. The brown turkey figs in the back row, they're setting figs So some of these I did pinch too. I pinched the tips to try to get them to set earlier. I'm not really growing these for form. A lot of them die by the end of the year and have to get restarted, or they grow back from the root in the spring anyway. So toothache plant yarrow, I was letting that go to seed so I can get more of it established. It is doing absolutely wonderful. Got some lemongrass back there, and then the echinacea has already kind of fizzled out for the year. My mugwort is huge. This is an 8-foot tall plant. I should do a video on mugwort soon. And then same thing here, lemongrass, echinacea, yarrow. Hiding underneath there is another toothache plant. And the catnip. Malabar spinach, another one of my top 3. These guys all planted themselves this year. I did not plant a single one of these this year. All of this lush greenery, so tasty. Here's a good sized leaf. Look at that. The size of that leaf. And this stuff will thrive all summer, and we will not be able to keep up with it, which is excellent. Raw or cooked, it's so tasty. I was harvesting some of my resin calendula earlier today, getting the bottom row of strawberries established with some currant bushes, and then I can't wait to prune back these apricots. Maybe do some grafting. Oh, look at these guys. These guys are everywhere right now. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful green beetle, but just not a lot of help in the garden. So sometimes we drop them in this bucket. Oops, I missed. And then feed them to the ducks. Yep. More buckwheat, muscadine grapes, doing all right here. See what I mean though? Look, just hiding all over the place in here. Those beetles, there's one. Big green beetle, right? They're hiding all over the place. And here, got some beefsteak tomatoes with some basil. More squash planted in a row here. Here, I tried getting them in late. They'll still probably do pretty good. They got all these volunteer tomatoes I may pull out or relocate. But I'm eventually putting in strawberries here, but peppers are growing this year under this muscadine grape. Doing well enough. Here's a giant bed of strawberries. Of course, the Japanese beetles. There you are. Eating the grapes like crazy. And the walking onions, I should do a video on those too. They're pretty much done reproducing for the year. Those guys are an absolutely amazing plant though, and I definitely love them. Definitely love them. And this is 9 feet of sunchokes. Oh yeah, these guys are so big. So looking forward to getting them out this year. Harvested the Mandan Bride corn just the other day. I've had 2 or 3 cuttings off of this rhubarb variety. Time for another one. Trefolate citrus. Got 2 of those coming up in there. More tomatoes I got in late. We'll see how that goes. I just, built that a little bit ago. Growing the gack fruit in these 2 buckets on the fence line here. We'll see if it covers. I gotta get them some more water here. Clary sage. This is a chamomile. Kids were just harvesting it again the other day for some tea. Pinky Pepper's little watermelon here. Just kind of going. Big one back there behind this. That's going to be plumbed for the Muscovy ducks eventually. It'll be their pond. But I'll put a faucet on the bottom of it where I can just kind of let it water come out to water the fruit trees and stuff. Red Swan bush beans. This is our little test patch this year. Doing excellent. I want to put in a long row of it next year. Dumped more tomatoes in here. I mean, these could have looked like this 3 months ago. I'm just kind of getting those in. Hopefully we still crank something out. The mosaic long beans doing excellent. Haven't grown those in years. Sun glow peppers coming in hard and heavy. Absolutely beautiful. This is where we were going to be growing some special ones for Monster Truck, but they were a type of Chinese snake bean gourd, and they didn't really work very well. The seeds, too many times, we weren't able to grow the crops. This is the only one that's really still alive, so we tried some different ones we had seeds for. Something different. Not my snake gourds, not the snake bean gourd, but something else we're growing now, so we'll see how it works out. More tomatoes on the fence there getting started. Cayennes are going to be coming in here. A couple of them getting red down there in the center. Yeah, next to that pink flag. And some sweet potatoes. And this is where I had my my winter hay bale experiment, cold frame. Kale from that still alive. We just harvested the cabbage from that. Bok choy reseeded itself. Still some cilantro going to seed there. So doing alright. And then here's where we got the snake gourds. We'll see how they do. Just did the video on that, but they're starting to come in, and I'm starting to finish the trellis. Hopefully we can get them going. We'll find out soon enough. And then over here we've got a number of squash growing up front. More of the resin calendula flowers. Roma tomatoes in the back row with the gourd beans growing over them. I wasn't sure if it was a bush or a vining one. It's a pole bean. It's not a bush, so they're fighting it out. And this is where I got my Carolina Reapers growing. Look, another one of those big green beetles. There you are. I don't like you. I love green and beetles. It's just they don't help out right now. So these guys are flowering and they are fruiting. Carolina Reapers looking good. And these ones here are actually my green fruit Shawo radishes. They're radish if you grow in winter. Supposedly they're about as sweet as a fruit. So why did I plant mine in spring? Well, I planted them in spring so they would flower and then go to seed, and I would have an incredible supply of seeds. So from the seeds I got originally, I planted a fraction of them, and now I should have just a ton of them coming in. So one of the reasons I do things a little different. This was a volunteer here. Yeah, that's a 9-10 footer right now. So got some beans growing up that too. I think we've got the Jacob's cattle bean. I think that's what we planted here. We'll see. And then in the back there's a little St. John's wort I planted. But that's about the garden right now, guys. Like I said, it's a little bit like Farmer G's. Lucky there's a garden at all, because it's overwhelming. I'm building as I'm going. I'm putting up trellises. I'm putting in raised beds and doing stuff like that. So hopefully each year in the future it gets a little easier, because it is a lot of work. But that's that. Which brings us to the trivia. So from the last video, the correct answers were snake gourds, the mess hall, wooden pegs, sticks, branches, whatever you want to call it, and then red pepper, monster truck, and sweet pepper all help. So any of those would have been valid answers. Today's shout out goes to Virginia Reid. You're the big winner, guys. A round of applause for Virginia Reid. Alright, which brings me to this video. Number 1, this giant section growing up about 8 feet, maybe 9 feet. What kind of crop is that? Number 2, name one, or I guess a question. Number 2, what is one of my top 3 garden plants? Name one of my top 3 garden plants. Number 3, who did I get my purple sweet potatoes from? Which channel? There's 2 options for a name, what they were at the time, what they are now. Which channel did I get my purple sweet potatoes from? And number 4, who attacked my bloody butcher corn? What kind of animal that I also refer to as the idiot of the woods sometimes? Alright, if you know the answer to those 4 questions, feel free to leave them in a comment below for a potential shout out in an upcoming video. If you don't know the answer to those 4 questions, just hit like and move on, or open book test. You can go back, find the right answers, or just kind of watch the comment section for a little bit. See who comments and replies, and seems like they know what they're talking about. Alright guys, just to kind of document it, that's my garden right now. There is a lot of stuff to come, and if you look behind me, none of that's garden. That's why I suppress things so heavily, because they come back and they overpower me and overtake me if I don't suppress them. So I've got to keep moving, keep growing. Papa out. As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.